Welcome to the More Better podcast, where we explore the notion of how doing more of the things that make us happy leads to a better, fuller life. Today, January 20th, 2026, our episode is titled Cognitive Reserve and the Power of Small Tweaks. I am your host, Eleanor Porter. This is the full detail version with a listen time of approximately 10 minutes. For a quick overview, the summary version with a listen time of approximately 3 minutes is also available. Let us begin. We are now 3 weeks into the new year. By this time on the calendar, statistically speaking, most grand New Year's resolutions have already been abandoned. We pledge to overhaul our lives, to go to the gym 5 days a week, to learn a new language, or to completely change our diet. But when the enthusiasm fades and the reality of daily life sets in, those massive changes feel unsustainable. We stop doing them, and then worse, we judge ourselves for stopping. But what if the secret to longevity and brain health isn't about massive overhauls? What if it is about the microscopic adjustments we make in the margins of our day? Today, we are going to explore a refreshing, evidence-based perspective that challenges the all-or-nothing mentality. We are anchoring our discussion in a compelling article from BBC Future, written by Melissa Hoganboom and published just recently on January 5th, 2026, titled 5 Lifestyle Tweaks to Help You Live Well for Longer. This piece, and the wider body of research it represents, suggests that the most potent medicine for our aging brains often comes in the smallest doses. To understand why these small tweaks work, we first need to deepen our understanding of a concept we touched on briefly in Week 1, cognitive reserve. Cognitive reserve is a concept that has revolutionized how we understand aging. It was popularized by researchers like Dr. Yakov Stern at Columbia University. To visualize it, imagine your brain is a bustling city. Your neurons are the buildings, and the synapses are the roads connecting them. In some brains, there is only one main highway connecting the memory district to the speech district. If aging or disease places a roadblock on that highway, traffic stops. You experience memory loss. But in a brain with high cognitive reserve, there isn't just one highway. There are side streets, alleyways, back roads, and scenic routes. If the main highway is blocked, the traffic, your thoughts, simply reroutes. The destination is still reached. This explains one of the great mysteries of neurology. Why some individuals, upon autopsy, show significant physical signs of Alzheimer's pathology, yet never displayed a single symptom of dementia while they were alive. Their city was so well connected that it bypassed the damage. The exciting news is that you are the city planner. You can build new roads. And according to Melissa Hoganboom's reporting and supporting research from the National Institute on Aging, you build them through specific manageable lifestyle tweaks. Let's walk through the 5 tweaks identified in the BBC report, unpacking the physiological why behind each one. Tweak number 1, the movement snack. For years, public health messaging focused on exercise, dedicated blocks of time for sweating and exertion. While that is valuable, recent research has shifted focus to sedentary interruption. When we sit for prolonged periods, our blood flow slows, and the production of enzymes that burn fat drops by nearly 90%. But more importantly for the brain, prolonged sitting reduces the flow of oxygen and glucose to the hippocampus. The movement snack is the antidote. It is not a workout, it is a reset. The protocol is simple. For every hour of sitting, engage in 2 minutes of movement. Walk to the window. Do a few heel raises while the coffee brews. March in place during a commercial break. Biologically, this brief burst of activity triggers the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Neuroscientists often call BDNF miracle grow for the brain. It supports the survival of existing neurons and encourages the growth of new synapses. You don't need a gym membership to get a dose of BDNF. You just need to stand up. Tweak number 2, the protein-first morning. Let's look at our fuel. In the Western world, breakfast is often a sugar delivery system: toast, jam, sweet cereals, or pastries. While these provide a quick burst of energy, they lead to a rapid spike in blood glucose followed by a crash. For the aging brain, this glucose roller coaster is taxing. It can lead to brain fog and irritability. The tweak suggested here is to prioritize protein in your first meal of the day. This is about neurochemistry. Protein provides amino acids, specifically tyrosine, which is a building block for dopamine and norepinephrine, the neurotransmitters responsible for alertness, focus, and motivation. By starting your day with eggs, Greek yogurt, or even a handful of walnuts, you are essentially preloading your brain with the chemical supplies it needs to stay sharp. You are shifting your metabolism from a volatile sugar-burning state to a steady, sustainable energy flow. Tweak number 3, social snacking. We often think of social connection as a deep, hours-long conversation with a best friend. Those are wonderful, but they are rare. The U.S. Surgeon General's advisory on the epidemic of loneliness highlights the value of weak ties, the loose connections we have with acquaintances. The BBC article refers to this as social snacking. It is the 30-second exchange with your mail carrier. It is the smile and good morning you offer to a neighbor. Why does this matter biologically? Humans are fundamentally social species. When we interact with another person, our brains have to perform a complex high-wire act. We have to read micro-expressions, interpret tone of voice, recall social context, and formulate a response, all in milliseconds. This is a massive cognitive workout. Furthermore, these positive micro-interactions stimulate the vagus nerve and release oxytocin, lowering our baseline stress levels. If you are feeling isolated, do not feel you need to host a dinner party. Just start by saying hello to the person in the checkout line. That is a deposit into your cognitive reserve. Tweak number 4, balance training. This is perhaps the most overlooked pillar of brain health. We tend to separate body and mind, but balance is where they intersect. The article suggests a simple habit: stand on one leg while you brush your teeth. It sounds almost too simple to be effective, but consider what is happening under the hood. To keep you upright, your brain's vestibular system, inner ear, must communicate rapidly with your visual system, eyes, and your proprioceptive system, muscles and joints. The cerebellum, the part of the brain at the base of the skull, is the conductor of this orchestra. As we age, the connections in the cerebellum can weaken, leading to falls. But the cerebellum is also involved in cognitive processing speed. By challenging your balance daily, you are not just preventing a fall. You are sharpening the processing speed of your entire neural network. It is a use it or lose it scenario for your body's internal GPS. Tweak number 5, the daily novelty. Finally, we return to the theme of learning, but here the focus is on micro-learning. The daunting goal of learning French can be paralyzing. The tweak is to learn one word of French. The BBC report emphasizes that the neuroplastic benefit comes from the effort of learning, not the mastery. When you struggle to remember a new name or try to figure out a new feature on your phone, you might feel frustrated. Reframing that frustration is key. That feeling of mental friction is actually the feeling of structural change. It is the feeling of your brain laying down new pavement. The strategy here is contextual novelty. If you always read fiction, try reading one article about physics. If you always listen to classical music, try listening to one jazz track. You are forcing your brain out of its efficient, well-worn grooves and demanding that it pay attention. putting it all together. The ripple effect. The beauty of these 5 tweaks, movement snacks, protein, social snacking, balance, and novelty, is that they are non-disruptive. They do not require you to change who you are. They simply ask you to change how you occupy the small moments of your day. Behavioral scientists often talk about the ripple effect. When you succeed at standing on one leg while brushing your teeth, you prove to yourself that you have agency over your health. That small win creates a positive mood, which might make you more likely to choose the eggs over the donut. That steady energy might make you more likely to chat with the neighbor. These habits feed each other. They create a positive upward spiral. So, for this week, I want to relieve you of the burden of the major overhaul. You do not need to become a new person. You just need to be a slightly more active, slightly more curious version of the person you already are. Choose one of these tweaks, just one. Try it for 7 days. Observe the data of your own experience. Do you feel a little lighter? A little sharper? That is the feeling of a brain that is building for the future. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you carry this spirit of curiosity into your week. I am Eleanor Porter. Please join me next week for our next deep dive. Until then, be well.